So it doesn't really matter what anybody says. We just have to face the evidence. There's something called the glycemic index that was big in the 80s and 90s, and it's kind of come back around again. Glycemic index. You gotta avoid the high glycemic index foods and things like that. And there's a couple of fruits that actually have a high glycemic index, and that would be pineapples and watermelons.
Watermelons?
Yeah, high on the GI scale. But the way that glycemic index is determined is you get 50 grams of carbohydrate from a given food, regardless of the amount that you have to eat. 50 grams of it, and then you measure its effect on your blood sugar levels for 2 hours after ingestion.
I was going to say, because watermelon's seen as keto-friendly, which is... But
watermelons have what's called a low glycemic load. So they have a very low amount of carbohydrate per serving.
Yeah, per serving, yeah.
Even though the carbohydrate itself, if you were to gather 50 grams of it, would have a more pronounced effect on blood sugar elevations.
Right.
And so even though those fruits have a high GI and certain foods have a high GI, they have a low glycemic load. And ultimately, people need to stop and think about things. Like the longest living populations on the planet do not avoid fruit. The fruit is a regular part of their intake.
What about the white stuff? The white sort of added sugar. Is it called refined sugar?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, refined, or we can call it added sugar. Mm-hmm.
What about the added sugar?
Added sugar is problematic in two different ways, at least. So the first way is it's diluting the nutrient density of the diet. It's a phenomenon called micronutrient dilution, when you have just a bunch of junk, micronutrient-free calories in the diet.